Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the TFG Fantasy Cricket Podcast, your daily dose of making the best 11 that can win you a lot of money. I have Vivek Krishnan with me. We have two matches today. One, India versus England, the decider, the final T20 at Bangalore. Second one is South Africa versus Sri Lanka ODI. So, first we'll touch upon India versus England. There are no changes, but Vivek, do you see anything happening with the Indian starting lineup?
No.
Because a lot of the top order is not working. They might just take a chance.
Yes, Nikhil, before we get into the fantasy bit and who's in, who's out, I think we must take this opportunity to thank our listeners, who have been writing to us on a daily basis.
Yes.
So thank you, boys and girls, uncle and aunties, and we will strive to get better every day. So, yes, coming back to tonight's game, the decider at Bangalore between India and England, I don't see too many changes, Nikhil, because more than India, I should start with England here. I think they are nicely settled. It's a winning combination. There is absolutely no room for any change, unless of course, Owen Morgan feels that Liam Dawson might not have much of purchase on the Chinnaswamy wicket as compared to Liam Plunkett. But otherwise, I don't see any change. I think Sam Billings, Joe Root, Jason Roy, Owen Morgan, Josh Butler, these guys will obviously be their match winners. On the bowling front, they have Adil Rashid. Not sure again how many overs he's going to bowl.
Yeah.
Which means you don't pick him in the team. Then there is Chris Jordan, the all-rounder Ben Stokes. So it's a formidable team. Talk about India. Like you pointed out, if there is any change, it could be at the top of the order.
Yeah.
And that could there could be a toss-up between Rishabh Pant and Manish Pandey.
Okay.
Given the circumstances, will Pant get a game? I don't think he will, because Indians historically, we have not introduced debutants in a crunch situation. So I expect one more opportunity, one more night for Manish Pandey. Then there is Yuvraj, there is Virat Kohli will continue to open for two reasons. Again, because I think he is the best opener that we have today in T20 cricket. He has proved it in the IPL. Plus, he's playing in Bangalore. He understands the conditions better than most. Then there is Dhoni, there is Raina. These guys will be floating in the order. Hardik Pandya bowling, I think, also will remain the same. Very nicely led by Ashish and Jasprit Bumrah. Spinners, Parvez Rasul should be on the sidelines and let Amit Mishra and Yuzvendra Chahal do the bowling. I think Yuzvendra Chahal is going to be our trump card here. Again, because he plays for the RCB, he understands the conditions, he knows the ground is small. Accordingly, he's going to vary his line and length. So that's going to be the makeup of both teams in our opinion.
You know what? Suresh Raina bats a bit and now has started to bowl as well. Do you think he becomes a compulsory pick?
Not compulsory, but he's always been a value for money buy. When you talk T20 cricket, if you go down the years, how MS Dhoni has used him in the IPL, even during India's international T20 matches. He's a very useful cricketer. Sometimes he might not bat well. Obviously, his primary role is to deliver with the willow. But we have seen on many occasions Raina chipping in with the ball, and he has this bit of a golden arm where he breaks handy partnerships. So I think
that's a bonus.
It is a huge bonus, but again, these guys can also disappoint you, Nikhil. Let's also be very honest about it that he's not going to be cheaply priced. So you have to see, because then you can't pick all four Indian players, Dhoni, Rahul, Virat Kohli, Yuvraj Singh and Suresh Raina. Then it becomes a bit of a challenge. So
and then you have Bumrah,
then you have Ashish Nehra, then you have Mishra Chahal. So that's where I think you are entering the I think I would call it as a uncertain zone, as they say, corridors of uncertainty outside the off stump, and this is on the fantasy cricket front. But I think he's a definite value for money buy, sure.
Okay, so your fantasy 11 would be?
Yes, so Joe Root, Jason Roy. So before I announce the team, what I would like to inform everybody is pick all the batsmen, because as per the conditions, we have seen in Bangalore over the years, high scoring matches,
small ground
teams have chased down big totals, altitude, the balls are going to fly, plenty of fours and sixes. IPL, boss, you can go through so many matches, day game, day-night game, everything. I think every match you see high scoring and the fans really, really enjoying. I expect a repeat because both teams have explosive batsmen up the order, in the middle order as well. And that's where I feel if you pick the top 4 or top 3 from both teams, that will keep you in good stead. Which brings me to the fantasy 11. Obviously, MS Dhoni, Yuvraj Singh, Virat Kohli and KL Rahul, the top 4. You talk about England, Jason Roy. There is Sam Billings, obviously Joe Root and Ben Stokes. Is there place for Eoin Morgan? No, because when you create a team, you yourself will realize you can either pick a Joe Root, a Ben Stokes or a Eoin Morgan. You can't pick everybody. The reason we are picking Billings is because he's going to open. And in T20 cricket, given his credentials, given his form, even if he bats for 5-6 overs, he scores 25-30. And if you don't have him, you're already on the back foot. So that's why we have picked Sam Billings ahead of Eoin Morgan. On the bowling front, obviously, we pick Yuzvendra Chahal, Jasprit Bumrah, and Chris Jordan, who has been their leading wicket taker. So that's our team. Captain, vice captain, obviously Virat Kohli. You might say that he has flopped in the first 2 games, but you look at his numbers, you look at his record, you look at the man who he is, and if you think we are taking a bad decision, you're free to think otherwise. Not
also check man in RCB jersey. Yeah,
I mean, the name is enough, boss. You don't have to say what he has done over the years. And then obviously there is Jason Roy. I think he's got some useful starts, hasn't converted into anything substantial, but we persist with class. We don't only go by form. So that's our motto.
Yeah, right. And
if you only want to go by form, please play grandly.
Or intuition.
And honestly write to us how much you won.
Okay. Guys, on the lines of Manish Pandey and Rishabh Pant, on cricketing point of view, we wrote a very nice article yesterday how benching these youngsters who are getting into the squad is not good for Indian cricket. So from cricketing point of view, we just hope Rishabh Pant gets a place and he can bat. He can bat beautifully.
I'll be very surprised, Nikhil, if he gets an opportunity. Very, very surprised.
Right, guys. Moving on to the next game, South Africa versus Sri Lanka ODI. Any changes, Vivek, over there?
Oh, no. I think if at all there is going to be any change, should be from the Lankan camp. And again, this will be based on the assessment of the wicket at Durban. South Africans, I think we've already heard from their camp. We have read reports that they are likely to go in with the unchanged team that played in the first match at Port Elizabeth, which means Hashim Amla, which means Faf du Plessis, which means Wayne Parnell, Kagiso Rabada. All these guys are going to be in. We talk about Sri Lanka. I think the only change which I see is probably a pacer coming in the form of Lahiru Kumara for one of the spinners, and I think that spinner could be Jeffrey van der Sey. But otherwise, I don't see too many changes from Sri Lanka either. On the weather on the weather front, we expect a full match because there is no threat of rain. As far as the pitch is concerned, it can be very funny. Sometimes Durban, the groundsman can leave a lot of grass on the wicket, which will assist the seamers. If not, it becomes a batting paradise. So we are giving you both sides of the story, So obviously you have your own. You can make your own decisions. You have your own choice.
Okay.
But this is what we give you. And number 3, Nikhil, talking about the team combination. Like we wrote in our column, we feel pick 7 South African cricketers, 4 Sri Lankan cricketers. Whom do you drop? Obviously the ones who are not performing. Whom do you pick? The ones who are performing. I'm making things very clear. Kushal Mendes. If you look at his numbers, last 4 or I think 3 ODIs he has played, he has got a 15 each and every game. So you pick him. Do you pick Dick Vela? Is a bit of a yes and no. He has been probably their best batsman in T20, Nikhil, and I think they will persist with him in the opening slot. So you pick him as well. Then there are 2 more spots available. We pick Asela Gunaratne purely for the budget reason. And he might bowl a few overs. And if he gets lucky, like in the first one day, he might get you a wicket or 2. And then you are left with one more bowler, either Suranga Lakmal or Kudasekera. The choice is yours, again, because there is hardly to pick between the 2. Coming to the South African side, I think we suffered. We didn't have Faf du Plessis in the first match because it's very, very difficult to make a team. So this time we realize De Kock, Amla, AB de Villiers and Faf2, all 4 guys. Now, chances are that all 4 might flop. And JP Dumini, who was a flop in the first match, might score 100. So, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay?
Yeah.
And then on the bowling front, so Nikhil, we had this debate.
In fact, I was coming to that,
Yeah.
In fact, both our articles are up, Fantasy Cricket India and as well as South Africa. You can check this. And when you were making the team, Vivek Krishnan, yesterday, there was a huge debate on Chris Morris.
Yes, correct.
Okay, should Chris Morris be in the team? Because we know the caliber that this guy possesses. But whom do we drop? That was the biggest question. And, I was looking at the team and I thought that, this question is very valid.
Yes. Okay, so the answer here is you obviously can't drop Imran Tahir, who has been their best spinner, who picks up almost 2-3 wickets every match. There is Kagiso Rabada, who is their best seamer today. So
Wayne Parnell.
Coming to Wayne Parnell, I have a very interesting insight, very interesting stat, which will enlighten everybody, whoever is listening, and nobody is going to drop him. The last 25 matches Parnell has played for South Africa, 50 over cricket. Not a single match he has gone wicketless. You're talking last 25 matches. How many bowlers have this record? Pick, drop at your own risk.
Also, in Ramslam, he opened few matches.
He opened. So, although we don't expect him to open here because there is Amla, there is Dickov.
But those are bonus points.
Absolutely bonus points. Plus. We don't want to drop Morris, but because of the rule, we are compelled to. And Parnell opens the bowling, Nikhil. And the way the Sri Lankans have been batting, even if there are no demons on the wicket, they want to give the wickets away. You might have a Morris, but you could get into a situation where Sri Lanka are 60 for 6. 3 to Rabada, 3 to Parnell. You have Morris. How many wickets do you have? In between, Imran Tahir might come and bowl a few overs, take a few wickets. Then what do you do? So these are the things you need to consider. We are also putting in a lot of hard work, a lot of analysis. We look at a lot of numbers. We read a lot of reports. So obviously, we would love to hear your comments. We would love to get your feedback. You can write, you can throw, you can do whatever you want. You can get to us. You can ask us why not, and obviously present your suggestions.
Your captain and vice captain.
And we'll be more than happy to respond to you. Captain, vice captain. AB de Villiers vice captain, Quinton de Kock captain for all the reasons, Nikhil, for keeping, for batting, for whatever, man. You really can't miss out on him. And chances are that Hashim Amla on his own home ground could score a century. But the reason why we are picking AB de Villiers is because we saw him play in the T20. We saw him play in the first ODI also. He's looking flawless. And if he's presented with an opportunity to bat even for 12 to 15 overs, I think he will outscore Amla.
Okay. Guys, well, I was about to conclude this episode, but then Vivek Krishnan just raised his hand and said that let's give some information about New Zealand versus Australia. As per Indian Standard Time, it will start at
3:34.
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's
so.
Correct.
It's very difficult to cover that match. We might give you some bits of information. Vivek is ready with it. Vivek, go ahead.
Yes. So there was doubt whether Matthew Wade would play the series or not. Now he's declared unfit. He won't be taking part in the series. And Martin Guptill is also ruled out of the second one-dayer. So we still have about good 15 hours to create a team, and we'll obviously present it to you much before the match starts. But what we can tell you now is this round is going to be extremely challenging, even when you know no Guptill, no Wade. The reason I say this is because Bolt, Saudi, Hazelwood, Cummins, Faulkner and Stark. And Jimmy Neesham. You have 7 quality wicket takers, 7 quality seamers.
Yeah.
You can only pick 3
You
or
missed
4.
out Santner.
I didn't pick Santner because he's the spinner, Nikhil, and I see these seamers doing a lot of damage. And obviously one of the reasons why I didn't include Zampa either. So there is going to be tremendous competition. It's not going to be easy. You can only pick mostly 3, 4 or 5 seamers. And then you talk about batsmen Neil Broom, there is Kane Williamson, there is Tom Latham, there is Head, there is Finch, and there are far too many people. So wait for
Marcus Stoinis.
Marcus Stoinis, there you go, the match winner. Yes,
He will be the captain,
He will be. I think he will be the favorite. But again, boys and girls, it's okay. He was brilliant in the first match, but that doesn't guarantee that he's going to repeat his heroics. So obviously we'll give our lineup in some time. Good luck. This is what we wanted to inform. So Good luck, guys.
Okay, guys. Fantasy 11 for India versus England and South Africa versus Sri Lanka is up on our website. You can, check your Fantasy 11. You can make your changes, but do let us know what was your thought process behind it. And yeah, you can read those articles on our website, thefangarage.com. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter at TFG Fantasy 11 and Facebook at Fantasy Pundit. You can listen to our podcast at Indusworks Media, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, iTunes, and definitely on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Till then, keep hunting.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcast galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.